Well, I got a job, we're starting today, that I've been afraid of. I've been, well, maybe I shouldn't say afraid, but I've lost sleep over it. I've not felt very good about it. Matter of fact, I came really close to bailing and saying I don't want to do this job. It's a big redwood tree. It's dying, and the neighbors have cut the roots. And a lot of people are looking at this saying, "Why are you cutting down that beautiful tree?" Well, it's got problems and it has to go. But the location, that's what's got me worried. The location of this tree is in the backyard, so I can't use a crane. It's in a real tight spot right next to the fence, the corner of the fence. He's got all kinds of obstacles. He's got a boxwood hedge that he wants to keep. There's even sprinklers down in there, so got to get this thing down one little piece at a time. Wish me luck. Alright, get ready to rock and roll on this video. This was a tough one. Could not use a crane. Too far from it. I had so much to break. So many things. The guys put in a brand new fence. The neighbors cut all the roots. So much to break. So many things we could have screwed up on. And as you can see there, there's very little room to drop any wood. The wood was extremely heavy. The tree was full of water. We had rain a few weeks ago and the tree was just unbelievably heavy. The branches were heavy. The wood was heavy. Everything about this job was difficult. And as you can see, it's a big tree. Redwood trees really don't belong down here in the urban environment. They get so big, so fast. Believe it or not, this tree is only 50 years old. We counted the rings on it. The homeowner told me when it was planted. And, hey, I don't know. Ended up buying a brand new rope for this job, 3/4 inch rope. And, well, you know, I'm going to let you watch this video. I'll interject here a few points. You know, I got started, I did the first bit, but I didn't really get any video of me up in the tree except for this little bit here. I was concentrating so hard that I didn't take the time. But I did take time when I switched off, and this is after lunch, the first day. You can see we were hauling brush out the whole time, and I was going a little bit faster. We were roping everything, so it was piling up on us. And we were tripping on the brush, so we decided to get out there and get it all chipped up. And use the Porter Wrap. Great tool. Really amazing way of dealing with brush. But if you're not careful and you either wrap it wrong, or if you don't have enough wraps on some of the heavy stuff, it can still get you into trouble. As I said, we had to rope down every single limb.
You set it down on the mat, any oil that drips off of the bar won't go on the aggregate.
There we go, there's a selfie of me. I wanted to show you this. We started it and it got wrapped wrong. So I showed the guys, I said, no, you cannot go that direction. It's going to hang you up. As you can see, the rope would get caught up in the fold there. And that's all the video we got for the whole first day. We were burned out. I thought about using a speed line, but that pool over there, we couldn't get back far enough. I tried one, and it came down so fast and so hard that it slapped the aggregate there. So we went back to just lowering them one at a time. We had that darn Chinese elm there, that was hanging us up. Everything that would swing out in this direction would get caught up in that tree. There was another thing. There was only one tree that I could set the porta wrap up on, and it was almost directly underneath Jorge up there. I did most of the roping on this part of the job. We had a system down, and it took a little while for us to get on a roll, but Jorge would make the cut. I'd lower it all the way down. I'm editing this, make it go a little bit faster. But you see here, I'm looking straight up at him most of the time. It was very important to get the rope back up to him quickly. So he'd take the cut, it would come all the way down. Eric would take the branch, pull it all the way out. He'd cut it up. I went over and untied every branch. And then we had a fourth person pull the brush out. You know, so we were processing and processing and processing. And my neck was really sore by this time, you know, because I'm looking straight. There wasn't another tree in the yard that I could put the porta wrap on, so it was not the most optimum way of doing this. But I really didn't have any other choices. And because I was down underneath him, you know, every once in a while we'd have bits of sawdust or bits of small pieces come down, rocketing down, so I really had to pay attention. A lot of the time I just set the camera on the ground here and just went to work and edited out some of the bits. And occasionally I step on the camera. I wish I had a dedicated camera person for some of these exciting jobs, but I do it all myself, and I use both the GoPro and my iPhone and try to set them up, try to get the best angle I can. Oh, here we go. You're going to like this. I want you to take notice of the sawdust flying off of that. The wind had picked up significantly, blowing the direction where all the sawdust is going. The sawdust was actually going across the front of the house and landing out on the street. So he really didn't have any choice. He had to drop it in this one direction. It clearly wouldn't go any other direction. So we've got it all roped off. I'm underneath here, and it hit the Chinese elm, and it hung up. So I had to climb up there and undo this mess. That wasn't easy because it got caught up in all those little tight branches, and I had to get up there with a pole saw. And, the very tip of the top was in the Chinese elm. Didn't break the Chinese elm, but when we finally got it down, and you can see how big that is. These branches are really long. We had to spend a lot of time sitting there just messing around with the pole saw. I wanted you to look at this cut here, and I wasn't too happy with the way he did it. He overcut. You can see that one little flat in the middle. We'll talk about that some other time, but that was not a perfect wedge. So let me talk a little bit about how we were preparing this for the wood. This isn't the only drop zone, and there was a lot of stumps and roots and hard ground. If I would have hit any of these pieces of root or other stumps or the flare of the trunk of the tree, that would get us into big trouble. So I got my little alpine stump grinder in here and spent probably an hour grinding out a big hole. I was able to get a hole about 8 feet by 6 feet by about 24 inches deep, and just ground and got it all soft. Then we got in there with the shovel. Check out that shovel handle. That was a Jorge fix. He broke the handle and said, I got an idea. So he had some branches. It worked. It kept us going. But we built a berm up around the edges, especially on the boxwood there. We didn't have any wood yet to protect it, but we also put in a fence post stake, one of those metal stakes, over by the brand new fence, and cut a whole bunch of long lengths of the branches. I had them save out a bunch of them to use for protection. And that came close, almost hit the boxwood. But we started taking these branches, or these chunks of wood, and piling them up on the mound of dirt that I put up in front of the boxwood. And I put a lot of branches over by the fences, so the surround catch got better, except for that one. That was bad.
No.
That actually pissed me off.
That hit a stump on the way down.
But I don't know. I wasn't up in the tree. He was. And stuff happens. Amazingly, nothing got broken from that. So we kind of tuned it in from this point, and that little incident there kind of got our nerves up. So on day 3, had to get back out there. And you notice we left a lot of stubs, and a lot of you guys are going to say, "Oh, cut off all the stubs. We only use spurs." Da 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 da. Well, sometimes we like to leave places to step on, and as the stubs were getting in our way, we were cutting them off. But if you clear off everything and you're dependent totally on your spurs all the time, we're up and down this tree so many times that having a few little spots to rest your feet is very, very helpful. Got a lot of shots of pieces of wood coming down. The power of these pieces, they're heavy too. From I'd say 50, 60, 70 feet up, each of these rounds was 150 to 200 pounds or more. What I didn't say was we also filled that hole up with wood chips, so that helped soften the blow a little bit. Here's a technique that I believe I have developed. I've used this for many years, but I've never really seen any other tree services do this. If you go buy yourself a bunch of 1/4-inch dowels, they're about $1 a piece, and you utilize the dowels, that gives you something to roll the wood on. It takes the weight off. Jorge is only using 1 dowel here. The pieces of wood aren't quite heavy enough to really need it, but you can see that it does make it much, much better for moving the wood. You got this little rolling surface, and if you put the dowels in the right direction, it rolls off and puts the wood down. We had to haul everything out, and these pieces we were able to get through the gate. A couple of them actually split in 2 when they hit the ground, but the gate was only 36 inches wide, and these pieces were just barely getting through. Ultimately, as it got bigger and bigger, we had to actually put the pieces on end on the log dolly, because they were hitting the gate when they were on their sides. I took everything out to the truck, and I hand split everything. Stuff was just too heavy. The smaller pieces we loaded up, but once they started getting to the bigger pieces, we were cutting them only about 16 inches or so. There he should have used 2 dowels. That was the problem. If he had had 2 dowels in there, it wouldn't have pinched his chain. And from here on out, he did. He changed it. Muscling this wood is really, really hard. And I've seen guys just use wedges or little sticks, to keep it up. But then you've got so much friction. With the dowels, you can move, you can move 1,000-pound chunk of wood or even more with a couple of dowels on there. Replacing them is really important. You put them in the direction. The second one you put in before you cut it all the way through. The first one is when it'll support itself and you get the dowel in there and it'll rest down on it. The second one allows you to cut to the end, and because it's the size of the dowels are comparable to the kerf, your saw comes right out. And there it goes. That one just split in half. And a splitting maul can be very dangerous too. They frequently work themselves off, and if that head comes off when you're swinging, that could get somebody hurt real bad. Day 4, we ended up splitting all the wood, as I said before. This is trailer load number 3. It's kind of interesting. This one I wanted, and I kept all the clearest, easiest stuff to split in that particular trailer load. Lucy was giving us a hand here, and this is what I was talking about when we had to put them up on edge to wheel them out. We knew we were going to split all the wood for a number of reasons. One, I wanted to keep a lot of it for the firewood. 2, the narrower, thinner pieces are easier to split. And the weight of these logs was just so significant. This piece right here, I'm guessing that's 400 or 500 pounds. It was so heavy. 2 or 3 people could not lift that up on the truck. And there's the we're into the last day. I bid this for a 3-day job and ended up taking 3.5. So we're in day 4. And he kicked butt. I am so impressed with this guy, man. He's been with me over 22 years. And here's a few still shots at the end of the job. We were tired. Oh my gosh, we were so tired. Like I said, we moved everything out. We got to a point where these last pieces were way too big. We had to split them on the spot there. We use steel wedges, which is a whole other thing you got to be careful of. You see some of those are starting to mush over. We did that. These were all ground down before we started. So we were doing a lot of hard hitting in these last couple cuts here. Oh man, that was just still using the dowels, believe it or not. If you've never used this dowel trick, please give it a try. 1/4-inch dowels, they're cheap. They're only about, I think I paid about $1.14 a piece at the home center. You can use more too.
Let's see you push it off all by yourself.
With this last piece
Let's see you
of
push
wood
it off
here,
all by yourself.
That's just an unbelievable amount of weight. There's so much water weight in there.
Nice.
All right, you break your back.
Need help?
There you go. You see, he can't even barely budge this thing.
No, don't hurt yourself.
He used the big bar, and he was able to flip it over using the big bar.
Stubborn is as stubborn does. Oh, this is a good one. I wonder if I can split it all the way through the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to prepare this for stump grinding, so we had to make one last cut. And because the fence was there, it was kind of awkward. You know, we couldn't. We have a saw with a much bigger bar. We have an 084, but the bigger, longer bar in this location.
Yeah, I want to see
the
it
fence
move.
there and the whole awkwardness, so it just didn't work.
Do it. Yes. Awesome. You're the man, Jorge. Probably take the wedges out. That'll be a more solid surface. Then I can just split it on the spot. Is there one in the back?
You know, I got down to this last real, gnarly grain piece right near the butt. It didn't split as easy, and it was heavier for some reason. Each piece of wood was much heavier. I did end up using all these wedges. I used the chainsaw to start the cuts. Then I asked the homeowner if he'd catch a picture of all of us. This is the first picture he gave us. There's the second picture. Finally I had to say, take your finger off the lens. So he did get us a final picture here. Like I said, we loaded up 4 truckloads, 4 big trailer loads. And here's what the job looked like at the very end. That's the stump that I left for grinding. Still a little bit high, but boy, that was just so awkward to get in there and work around it. Opened up that front bit a little bit, but all in all, I don't think we broke much at all. Except for the neighbor's statue. And that happened when Eric picked it up and moved it. He set it down and the base crumbled. So I'm trying to fix it for him.
So Kelly,
Yes,
how long have you been in the business?
almost 39 years.
39 years. Yeah.
39 years.
You don't look that old.
Thank you.
Did you grind that stump out yourself?
The bulk of it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Not very often the boss gets out there and does the work.
I got to get a little sweat
Yeah,
on.
let me see the name of your business here. Boy, your stump grinder is sharp. It is sharp.